I hope I'm audible now, right? To everyone. Great. So, how we will take a decision about a hypothesis that whether we accept it or we reject it. Though we do not accept anything, we just say we feel to reject, right? But let's understand this way that how we will decide whether I reject this hypothesis or not. So, people कैसे decide करेंगे? So, Gomini, how we will decide that we will reject the null or we will fail to reject the null? Uh, what is this 95 minus 5% balance? So, okay, so we are running a test on 95% confidence level. Now tell me how we will decide. So, how to remember this? When P is low, null will go. इतना दिमाग लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है. When P is low, null will go. P is high, null will fly. It's not confidence interval, Tanya, right? It is alpha, right? When it is below my significance level, then we will reject it. And this alpha or significance level is 1 minus confidence level, not interval. Alright. So in our case, our p value is greater than 0.05. So we will fail to reject and we will accept the null hypothesis, which is my data is normally distributed. Alright. A quick revision of your first two classes, right? You can use this block, you enumerate it in different way. You can create a histogram and put a density curve or normal curve on this, right? Let me just make it for weight only. So though it is not 100% normal, but it is tend to be a normal distribution, right? All right, Control C, let me share this code with you people. आईडी बोलो जीशान। और किसकी आईडी दी है इसमें? प्रगीषा। ओके। एक आईडी और किसकी नहीं है? अरे विपुल की तो सबकी आ गई, राइट। आईडी आईडी बताओ हर्षा। So, though this part is not a this is this is not a part of the program, but still I want you to become familiar with few more procedures, right? Which you may require later on. Proc core. What is core? Sorry, correlation. So if you responded, then definitely it will help you. I will help you to revise whatever you have covered so far, right? And that's my objective for asking this question. If you won't respond, then probably then I will, keep on teaching you the SAS. Let me know how do you want to proceed. Pearson correlation. What is this Pearson correlation, Tanya? Okay, correlation is the measure of the strength of relationship between two variables. Very good people, right? And plus one means plus one means people. So how do you measure it? You measure it with a Pearson correlation coefficient small r, right? Tanya ने आंसर किया था. She meant to say that we measure it with the help of Pearson correlation coefficient, and the value of a Pearson correlation coefficient lies between, Tanya. The value of Pearson correlation coefficient lies between -1 to +1. And -1 means what is negative? मेरे को भी पता नहीं, तो मेरी बेटी को भी पता नेगेटिव होता है -1 का मतलब. -1 में परफेक्ट नेगेटिव और इनवर्स कोरिलेशन. Perfect inverse correlation. Perfect, right? Which mean if one data point x moves in a particular direction, y does change in opposite direction in the same manner for all the data point. Plus one means perfect positive correlation, right? Why I am using perfect? Because every data point will lie on your linear line. So best fit line is something else, though it is, you can call it, but that is drawn from a little differently, right? The algorithm is a little different for best fit line. All right, I'm not going to that detail. So you once you submit this, you will get a correlation matrix, right? So diagonally you will get one, and this particular column tells me how my age is correlated with weight, height, how my age is correlated with weight. So what is the null hypothesis of correlation of age and height? Type your answer in chat box. What is the null hypothesis of age and height? Remember those three rules which I just mentioned. Now how you will write it? That age, so Nitika is saying age has no correlation with weight, right, or height, right? Versus say with age, height is not increasing, which means they are not correlated, right, Harsha? What are the others? Okay, Pragisha, age and height are not correlated. बाकी लोग क्या टॉस करके देख रहे हैं कि किसकी प्रोबेबिलिटी ज्यादा है? ओके, alright. So as null hypothesis of no impact. So age has no impact on height, which means we can clearly say that age has no correlation with height. एज की वजह से हाइट में कोई चेंज नहीं आता. In alternate, we will say yes, it has an impact, right? So if you look at their correlation coefficient value and their p value, right? You will say p is low, null will go, which means they are correlated, right? ये p value भी दी है ना नीचे साथ में ये, and this pairs का correlation coefficient भी दिया हुआ है. So we can determine that they are correlated, right? You can get this correlation for a particular variable by writing where and with. किस वेरिएबल का देखना है और किसके साथ देखना है, right? By default, it will also give you that simple statistics, right? Next is I'm going to cover SG plot, right? So SG plot gives you multiple options to create different plots. So first one, I'm creating a scatter plot. So x is equal to age, y is equal to weight. So a scatter plot with age and weight. Why we create a scatter plot? Karan, why we create a scatter plot? Karan, why we create a scatter plot? आवाज आ रही मेरी?
हाँ
ईशान,
जी सर, हाँ जी सर, वही रिलेशन बिटवीन टू वेरिएबल्स को देखने के लिए कि
तो फिर ये बताओ, फिर ये कोरिलेशन क्यों किया फिर मैंने? वो भी तो है।
हेलो 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 सर।
हेलो करण,
हाँ जी सर।
so that I can see how the distribution look like for correlation, right? राइट, कोरिलेशन कोफिशिएंट से मेरे को एक मोटा मोटा आइडिया लगता है, लेकिन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन चेक करने के लिए आई डू प्लॉट डेटा. Alright, so that's why we create this scatter plot, and this ellipse we can create a 95% confidence boundary to see how well my data is fitting in that confidence interval. Alright, we can also create SG plot for box plot, right? So I've created a box plot, right? If I will not write category, then I will get a simple box plot. If I write category as gender, then I will get a separate box plot for both the categories, right? बॉक्स प्लॉट किस काम आता है? Only to check outlier. Excuse me. Give me a second. सॉरी, थोड़ा कोल्ड हो रखा है मेरे को. So yes, Pragisha, you are right that we can create a box plot not only to see outlier, it can help me to visualize my data, the entire distribution, along with outliers, right? You can also create vertical box plot by changing S to V. You can use SGS scatter for all numeric variable. Mhm. Okay. This you know in Python as pair plot, right? This will show you the histogram and this will show you the scatter plot, right? Sorry. You can also create a double axis or you know two axis graph, right? So what you are saying that on x-axis you are discrete, and on x-axis you are plotting year, and y it is cone, and you are also creating a series, next series, which on which your x-axis you are having year, and on y-axis you are natural gas, and you are writing it on y2 axis. So this graph will, so you will have one variable on y-axis, another variable on y2 axis. So that you can compare two different variable, right, on two different axes. You can create your histogram, the simple histogram. All right. You can also create a bar graph, right? So I'm using this PRD series data. So one variable is predicted sale, another one is actual sale, right? And we are seeing this result country wise: Canada, Germany, and USA. Here we can define bar width and the transparency to get two different bar on one the same place. And on y-axis we are plotting sales. Okay, take your time. Nisha, I didn't get your question, so can you just elaborate?
Run coding along with you. So, where is this SAS file starting from? Where do we have to start coding from? Okay. So, can you scroll up, please?
Done, everyone? All right. So next one, horizontal bar graph. you have completed till here, right, everyone? So I am moving on towards the next procedure, and the next procedure is your proc reg. Reg stands for regression, right? So we are defining a model where weight is equal to age and height. We also want to plot this model. So once you submit this, this will give you each and everything which you require in a regression model, right? All the statistical measures, right? The value of intercept, value of age, value of your x1, your x2. This will also give you the fit diagnostic, right? For each variable. So since we have used only one, so we are getting only one. This is your contact plot, your Cook's distance plot, each and everything you will get it from this, right? This will also tell you the errors for a particular variable. And finally, your model, which is weight is equal to minus 141.22 plus 1.27 into age plus 3.597 to height. Your R square value, your adjusted R square value, or RMSE value. This is a distribution of height versus weight. This is the distribution between weight versus age, right? So that you get to know how two variables are correlated with each other. Weight versus age error, weight versus height error. Your error distribution, your residual versus predicted value correlation, your ANOVA table, just one line of code. Alright, so let's move on to the next procedure, which is ANOVA. So when we use ANOVA, when we use ANOVA, ANOVA stands for analysis of variance, right? Okay. Between two group or more than two group? Okay. So ANOVA test we run to test whether mean of two or more than two groups are equal or not. Alright. So we define a categorical variable over here, and the model we write your numerical variable and categorical variable this way, and we want to compare the mean of gender and the statistics or the test statistic or the formula which we are going to use would be Skiffy. So there are different statisticians who have defined this. Alright, so this is the outcome. So what we are doing, we are checking whether the weight of male and female are equal or not, right? And this is my output. Can someone summarize this output? So what would be the null hypothesis? Skiffy again, so uh, it's a way to do the calculation, right? So we have different statisticians. So we have Duncan, right? If you are Skiffy, the output is same. However, the only difference is how they give the output. So null hypothesis means are not same. So Tanya is saying means are not same. Guru is saying means is same. What about others? Null hypothesis. निष्ठा null hypothesis क्या होगी? What about you, Gomini? Karan, I think you guys need a break, right? The way you are responding. Okay, let's take a 20-minute break and we will meet at 11:10. Welcome back, everyone, after the break. All right, so now I think you all have energy charged up with some tea and coffee. तो करण, आप कहाँ से हो पंजाब में? अच्छा, करण तो अभी है ही नहीं। अनम, आप कहाँ से हो? लगता है मेरी आवाज पहुंची नहीं अभी तक। I still see two people are missing, and Jishan and Ishan is here. Okay, करण ही मिसिंग है अभी। ओके, करण पंजाब में किस जगह से हो आप?
लुधियाना डिस्ट्रिक्ट है क्या वो?
लुधियाना। अच्छा, वहाँ मतलब हालत ठीक है अभी या कुछ ज्यादा कुछ शोर वगैरह मच रहा है?
नहीं, मस्त है सब अभी।
अच्छा, अभी ठीक है। कल जो हुआ था बस वही था, बस है ना, बाकी तो सब ठीक है।
वो भी बस लाल किला में होता, दिल्ली में ऐसा कुछ नहीं था। पहले सिंगू बॉर्डर ऐसा कुछ नहीं था उधर भी।
अच्छा
सिर्फ लाल किला पे हुआ था वो।
अच्छा, बाकी सब जगह शांति है ना? ठीक है बस।
शांति।
All right, so let's come back to the topic. So, ANOVA, why we run ANOVA? To check whether mean of two or more than two. Yes, please. हेलो, किसी ने कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछना है? नो, ओके। So let me just give you one example. I think I quote this example very often. So, so I have this data of, team and height, and my daughter come to me and stating that okay, the team which are in blue they always win because their height is taller than us, and she is in pink, right? So pink वाले हमेशा blue वालों से हारते हैं because उनकी height ज्यादा है. Then I asked simple question, how do you know? She told me that average height of blue, let's say, is 50 centimeter or inches, whatever it is, and for them it is 49. Now tell me, the statement which my daughter made is suggesting that there is a difference between their height or not. क्वेश्चन क्लियर हुआ? सो मेरी बेटी आती है, मेरे को बोलती है पापा कि जो पिंक हाउस है वो हमेशा हार जाता है क्योंकि ब्लू हाउस वालों की हाइट ज्यादा है. तो मैंने पूछा कि हाउ डू यू नो? तो आंसर था कि उनकी एवरेज हाइट ऐसे 50 सेंटीमीटर है और हम लोगों की 49 है. So how many of agree with my daughter's statement that she is right that the height is less, or how many you do not agree that this is a right statement? Agree or disagree? Nesta not agree. Okay. or shall not agree. Okay. What about others? Okay. And that's a good question. Send the data. मुझको लगता है नाम लेके वो आप लोगों को लगता है अपना नाम सुनना अच्छा लगता है. सो ओके, अनम, गोमिनी, हर्षिता, करण. So whenever I ask a question, I have some objective in my mind, right? That's why I ask this. Pragisha, so my question is, okay, so I have this data, right? And this data is, so my, okay, let me frame my question a little differently. So my daughter is a student of as a class 8 standard, and she come to me that and she lost her basketball match. She when I inquired why you lost the match, so she suggested me that the girls of other groups are taller than them, so that's why they lost the basketball match. So I asked her, how do you know that the girls of other groups are taller than you? So she told me that their height is 50 inches and the height of our group is 49 inches. My question is, do you agree with my daughter's statement or do you disagree with her statement? What is your inference from this conversation? Okay. Gomini, Pragisha, now the question is clear. Okay, so it is not the matter of win or loss. So, Anam, what I want to understand whether her interpretation that height are different or height is less is correct or not. Yes, your answer, please. So, do you agree with my daughter's statement that their height is taller than us, or do you disagree that there is no difference in their height? Okay, so let me help you over here. So I cannot agree, I cannot disagree, right? Until unless I check or I check the statistical validity of that statement. And for that, I will form one thing which is known as hypothesis, that there is no difference in height. Why? Because null hypothesis is the hypothesis of equality. In alternate, I will say that claim of my daughter is correct, that it, their average is not equal or it is less than the other one. Does this make sense to you? How do you approach any question? Don't jump on any conclusion until unless you test the validity of that statement, right? So when someone asks you, okay, what is this? What is that? Okay, let me just first understand what exactly this you're talking about. I need some statistical evidence before arriving to my conclusion, right? So in this case, we have 5 groups. So let's create a model where height is equal to team, and we are running it on team means. So what was my null hypothesis? Height of each group would be equal, right? Mean height of each group is equal. And alternate will say they are not equal. And my p-value suggests that we reject null hypothesis because p is less than 0.05. So far with me? Okay. So my null hypothesis, Nishta, is that average height of all 4 groups or all 5 groups are equal, which are blue, gold, gray, pink, red, right? Alternate will say they are not equal. At least one is not equal. So this is what the alternate is. So I did an ANOVA test and I found that my p-value is 0 is less than 0.05. So my inference is that all 5 groups are not equal, or at least one group is different. Because p is low, null will go. So the skiffy will help me to understand. So, and this is a distribution of the height, right? Now this skiffy test of height will help me to understand what all groups are equal and what all groups are not equal. So groups given in blue, they are equal. Blue or group which are in red, they are equal. So pink, gold, gray, they are equal. Red, blue, gray, gold, they are equal. So the 2 group which are not matching is blue and red with. So these gold and gray are overlapping. So only group. So pink is not matching with blue and red. So generally in ANOVA we say that groups are not equal, but Skiffy helps me to understand which group is bigger or greater, the which group is lower or smaller. right? So that's the your Skiffy test, right? So this graph tells me, right, if I have only this much data, अगर ये इतना ही डेटा होता तो मैं बोल पाता ये तीनों ग्रुप एक है, जैसे पिंक, गोल्ड एंड ग्रे. If I do not have pink, then my gold, grey, blue and red, they are equal. So we can say they are not significantly different. On the other hand, we can say these are not significantly different. So the significant difference lies between pink and blue and red. Done? Do we have class tomorrow? No, why? Is there a specific reason? Yes, we will have class tomorrow, right? कल क्लास होगी आपकी, ठीक है. अगर शेड्यूल नहीं है तो आई विल आस्क दामिनी टू शेयर द शेड्यूल. Because I am running on very tight schedule, so I cannot have. Give a break in between because on. Okay, so tomorrow and day after tomorrow, Monday. Hmm. Done? Alright. So next thing is we are going to learn is a little tricky. Why I'm saying tricky? Because in this environment you won't be able to explore much. क्योंकि यहाँ पे आपके पास डेस्कटॉप को एक्सेस करने का राइट्स नहीं होता. Otherwise, this is one of the wonderful thing in SAS, which is known as ODS. ODS stands for Output Delivery System. So the result which you are getting over here, it is an output, right? And it is in the HTML format, right? You can get this output in different format. You can get it in PDF, you can get it in RTF, you can get in simple printer layout, right? So, and since we are getting every statistics, right? You can choose to select only this graph to get the output. So output delivery system help me to customize my output, right, to share with a specific user or share with the defined users. But उससे पहले मेरे को, for example, let me share this data with you. We will do this thing on this data. If I run a proc mean on this, right, and I will use by statement, I will get two different output, right? Now one of my client require only this output. For example, if I'm running it for different state, so south or different zones, so south zone and west zone, right? So they want this output, and there are two different manager for this. You will be sending this to someone else. This is to someone else. So how you can achieve this goal? And they want, one want it in PDF, other one want it in HTML. Right? In order to achieve that goal, first you need to understand their object name, right? So that you can first pick them and you can assign them a destination. For that, we run one program which is ODS trace on and ODS trace off. So whatever program you want to, you know, send, or you want to, you know, use for your for output, just put that program in between these two lines, which is ODS trace on and ODS trace off. Once you submit this, right, in the log window, you will get output information. And this path is the name of that object, right? So by group by किया था हम लोगों ने. So we got two output. So one output is for group 1, the second one is for group 2. Right? Now we decided that, okay, so I'm minimizing your chat box, so I won't be able to read your chat. So if you want to ask me something, please unmute yourself and then ask a question. Let me just first delete this, right? So this folder is blank. Now one of my clients is sitting in New York, the other one is sitting in London, right? And they both, one want a summary of group number 2, the other one want a summary of group number 1. And one want that summary in HTML body, other one want that in the PDF body. So the program which I will write ODS HTML body or file, I can use true name, is equal to the physical location where he or she wants an output. Since I am limited with uses of this desktop, I cannot show you on the real desktop. बट अब मैंने दो फोल्डर क्रिएट किए हुए, यहाँ से राइट क्लिक करके न्यू करके आप भी ऐसा क्रिएट कर सकते हो, राइट? And just consider this London means the person sitting in London. This New York means the person sitting in New York, right? The only thing which you require, their location, right? Once you have that, you just read that, but you write that same procedure over here and just add one line of code, which is ODS select and the name of the object. which you can find in law. So ODS trace on करके मैंने पहले तो इनका पाथ पता किया, फिर now I am just sending them. So the syntax is ODS STL means I want this ODS in STL format. Body is the physical location where you will be storing this or saving this work. So I pick up this is a folder address, and red.html is my user defined name, red, and .html is the extension of this HTML.
So this will be stored in the form of table.
It will store the output, this output, right? मैं इस पिक्चर को इस लोकेशन पे जाकर के स्टोर कराऊंगा इन HTML फॉर्मेट, right? So I have used
Yes,
the same
that is
procedure,
table.
right? The only thing which I need to add is ODS select statement. And then once I open this HTML, I will close this HTML ODS. Now second program which I have written for ODS PDF file, a PDF, and I can write body or file, both are the same thing over here, is equal to the location where I need to store the file. This is the name of the file and its extension. Same procedure. What is missing? I just need to write or the select ODS, right? So let me run this program. So in London, I get a PDF. In New York, I get the HTML. This is HTML output. And this is your PDF output. One procedure, two different output at two different location. So Tanya, you can get this location by right clicking on this folder and going to properties, and here is the address. Folder you need to create yourself. I have created this folder, right? You can create your folder. Let me know once you're done. नितिका, फोल्डर तो आपको क्रिएट करने होंगे ना पहले? पहले यहाँ जाकर राइट क्लिक करके न्यू फोल्डर क्रिएट कर लो. न्यू फोल्डर. All right, so moving on to the next one. Karan हो गया? Okay, okay. Okay, let's do it for proc univariate. So again, we have use trace on, and we go to log, and we can see all 5 different statistical measures which we can find. For example, if someone want quantile, you can pick it from here. If someone want an extreme observation, you can pick it from here. If someone want basic measure, you can pick it from here. So let's say someone want basic measures. Again, this. uh, Now, what is this style? So style is nothing the way you get this output, right? Now let's go to test 2. Do you see the difference in the style now? The previous one has a little different style, right? This is a default style, and this is a new style which you have used. Now you might have questions on how many styles are there. For that, you just need to run this code to check how many styles are there. Proc template, and this will list all the style, right? Let's say you want to store it in festival style. So pick it from there and paste here. It will come in with a different style, right? So that's the use of style. Let me know once you're done. फ्रॉम लॉग रिश्ता लॉग लॉग में यहाँ पे लाइनें आती हैं व्हेन यू रन दिस ओडीएस ट्रेस ऑन in the log window you will find oh, ओके ओडीएस ट्रेस ऑन नहीं रन हो पाया था if you go to log you will find this path. So Nista, whatever procedure you want to send as an output, first you need to run that ODS trace on and ODS trace off. Once you run this, right, you will so जो आपका रियल टैग है ना 1 2 3 4 5 डिफरेंट टेबल्स आया है राइट या 5 डिफरेंट ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं इसके so if you want to pick up only one object you can select from log so it will show you path for first object path for second object path for third object fourth object and fifth object copy from here and paste in your code in the select statement if you do not write this everything would be printed in the PDF format. This output will be printed in the PDF format and will be stored in the location which you have defined. कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया ओके रन की वजह से वो कंप्लीट नहीं हो पा रहा था so if you don't write it you will get everything in your PDF right वेरी गुड विपुल तो बैठ के यही करते रहना स्किपिंग टूल चलाते रहना इसी चीज के पैसे लोगे कंपनी से
Sir, I'm not finding my file. How did you save it?
आपके पास फोल्डर है पहले ये वाले? मैंने जैसे फोल्डर बनाए हुए तो
सर मैंने अपना फोल्डर का लोकेशन मेंशन कर रखा है, बट इट्स नॉट सेविंग देयर.
कौन सा फोल्डर? यहाँ पे फोल्डर है?
फाइल. नो सर, इन फाइल्स का ही फोल्डर है.
नहीं नहीं, यहाँ पे कोई फोल्डर बनाया आपने?
यस सर.
ठीक है, उसका फिर आपने एड्रेस कैसे पिक किया? मान लो कि ये मान लो लंदन, ये आपका ये फोल्डर है राइट? इसका एड्रेस ऐसे प्रॉपर्टीज में जाकर के ये एड्रेस मिलेगा, उसका ये कॉपी करना है।
सर फाइल्स में नहीं सेव कर सकती डायरेक्ट?
हाँ, डायरेक्ट फाइल्स में भी चला जाएगा। देखो कोड पेस्ट
नहीं
करो,
आ
फिर आप
रहा.
चैट बॉक्स में कोड कोड पेस्ट करो।
सर मिल गया मिल गया.
सो विपुल, ये काम ऑटोमेट करने के लिए है। डेली अगर ये रन करना होगा तो क्या करोगे? डेली कट कॉपी पेस्ट करा करोगे? आई विल शो यू। So when we learn the macro in SAS, then we will get to know कि with a combination of all the learning which you have, how you can automate your program. Alright? और जो आपने लिखा ना, if the matter is to capture the specific or why don't we simply snip into a screen and save it as per the required file format? जो आपने ये लिखा है ना, इससे कोई भी डेटा साइंटिस्ट या डेटा एनालिस्ट जो भी होगा ना, उसके तन बदन में आग लग जानी चाहिए कि मैं इतना मैनुअल काम करूंगा।
सर मतलब मेरे को ये नहीं पता था कि मतलब मेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग के अकॉर्डिंग हर रोज डिफरेंट आएगा, तो इट विल बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर अस टू कैप्चर डेटा दिस विद द वे यू टोल्ड अस, क्योंकि इसमें हमें बार-बार फाइल के अकॉर्डिंग कोड करना पड़ेगा डेटा। अगर
हाँ
डेटा
बट
सेम फॉर्मेट में डेली आ रहा है, दैट्स अ डिफरेंट थिंग।
नहीं, मैं कोई काम, so we are not running this for operation work, right? Whatever we will do, we will code it so that we need not to do it tomorrow manually. मुझे अपने कोड रन करने ज्यादा भरोसा है बजाय कॉपी पेस्ट करने के। ठीक है ना? लेट मी शेयर दिस फाइल एज वेल।
Sir, but just in case if a file is not saving in the format that we want for like JPG, so we can do that by snipping to.
नहीं, क्यों नहीं सेव होगी?
सर कुछ सिस्टम में प्रॉब्लम हो, बैकएंड.
नहीं तो फिर आईटी फिक्स करेगा सिस्टम का इश्यू। क्या दिक्कत होगी? ज्यादा से ज्यादा कुछ पाथ, दिक्कत क्या होगी कि पाथ पे एक्सेस नहीं होगी तो एक्सेस लेनी पड़ेगी, राइट? अगर ये यहाँ से आउटपुट नहीं आया तो सैस का एडमिन ठीक करेगा ये क्यों नहीं आ रहा है। ठीक है, सो आई विल नॉट बी डूइंग द मैनुअल। मैंने प्रोग्रामिंग किस लिए सीखी? इसी तो सीखी है that I can automate my stuff. All right, so that's it for today. Uh, this is the code to check the style. Alright, so See you tomorrow. अच्छा कल class है. By the way, Tamini will share the communication. But if it is not, then I am just informing you that tomorrow we have a class, right? All right. Bye bye. Take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy.